All right, we are back. It's Either Side with special guest star Fat Jimmy. And I wanted to pick your brain after opening all of those Gladius cases that we just did 248 Gladius cases, just about the state of modern and stuff like that. And maybe talk a little bit about that triad we were mentioning earlier about bots with the power play that's going on between battle helpers, bots, and scholars. Kind of find out what you think about that, the state of modern after the changes that were just made and everything as well to ranked play. So we just start. What do you think of the new ranked play when you just can like move up as high as you want, and there are no card limitations? There's no penalties for underleveled cards anymore. It's just move as high as you can, but get better cards, rent better cards, move up higher, get more SPS. How do you feel about that? What do you think about it?
Overall, I think it's a great change. It was definitely a step in the right direction. We had to do something, and I think that it it that encourages you to move up. It's just you're always encouraged to just let me just level that card, but one card up, one more. Oh, I get another ability at silver. Let me just
Yeah.
grab that one more. It's definitely an encouragement to move up. Um, I hear a lot of people are bummed about the no leaderboards anymore in like bronze and silver and stuff. So that's a downside. But people would just camp in bronze and camp in
Exactly.
silver.
I know. I camped in
This
diamond.
way,
I camped diamond for sure. I
yeah,
didn't move up to champ. I said forget it. But
yeah, yeah.
I know as well that I talked to Matt answered one of my questions last town hall. I actually posted a question. I said, "Hey, how do you feel about increasing how many people get rewarded in the current leaderboard? Like right now, you're still doing 50. That's what it was at before you took away all the other rewards, right?
I,
Like, do you feel like making
yeah,
that tail a little bit longer, like maybe doing top 100 or something like that?" And he seemed like, "Yeah, that
yeah.
seems like something I should be able to do." So I'm hoping that they'll implement
Hmm.
at least making that like reward tail a little bit longer, even if it's like place 100 gets a pack, because I know they're planning on transitioning from DEC to packs eventually, right, to stop the DEC inflation. So even if it's
Hmm.
like place
Ooh,
100
I
to
didn't know
51
that.
gets packs.
They're going to go to PAX, huh?
I think so. I think that that was like something that was already passed. So I think that they are going to go to packs.
Oh, well, they passed it, but Matt, and I think he said this on the last one that he did not like that idea. That PAX this time he wanted to keep the value up, and to do that you have to buy them. I'm pretty sure. I know it did pass. The
I,
proposal passed
I think that's
PAX and
for
checked.
I think that was for
Yes.
not including packs in the reward chests is what he said about that. But I think that he also wanted to
Oh,
stop
okay.
the DEC inflation, which was happening by just printing DEC for the leaderboard, right? Because right now Champ gets like
Hmm.
what 200,000 DEC for first place or something like that. So you're printing so
Yeah.
much. I think he wanted to convert it to whatever that is, divide it by $5, and you get that many packs instead. So I think that that's on the horizon if I'm not mistaken. I'm not
Gotcha.
sure, but I'd love to
I'd
see
have
a
to
bigger
find out. Yeah.
tail and the conversion to packs, right? Because I mean that would really only be
Hmm.
5,000 DEC for one pack. Maybe you can even do top 200 or top 150 or something if you was to go like really low for the bottom. So
I mean,
I'd
they
love to
used
see
to
him
do
do that.
PAX. Beta PAX used to be on the leaderboards
Oh man, imagine
back in
going
the day.
back in time and being able to get beta packs on the leaderboard. You're probably like, man, these crappy beta packs on the leaderboards, this sucks. And now you're just like, I wish I had those beta packs again, right?
I think it was 200 PAX for top place.
That's crazy. Imagine today,
Yeah. Oh,
200
yeah. It's a
beta
lot.
packs. That's like each beta pack's worth $30 or something, right?
Are they
that's a
still
good
at 30
payday.
bucks right now?
I
That's
think that
freaking awesome.
I think they're expensive. I think they're expensive. Here,
Yeah, they're up there.
let's see what Warren TRX he asks. Will the new ranked play discourage new players from playing? How do you feel about that, Jimmy?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. Um, the few things I'm concerned about with new players is, and it's just from what I've been hearing too. Again, facing soulbound cards, facing Gladius cards, you're kind of just, yeah, and you can't get them. That was when I joined the game. You found a card. If you got beat by a card, you'd be like, I got to go get that card.
Yep.
And right now, the Soulbound and the Gladius cards, you can't do that. Um, I don't know if the way the ranking is going to keep people from playing. I don't think so. Because I'd imagine you're going to be more, um, like Matt was saying, facing more opponents that
That are
are
your equivalent.
matched to you.
Yeah.
Right, like I got a couple low level, like I have a silver account that I bought in Wild, and that goes up to like gold, sometimes diamond. I have two bronze accounts that bought in Wild, and they go up to they go up to silver or gold. So they're not hanging out in bronze
Yeah.
at all. So bronze is probably going to be literally just new players playing each other.
Yeah. And that's the
I
same
would
thing. Like,
imagine.
the thing is too that, I mean, we've just started with this new ranking system, and if you haven't played at all yet, you start at the bottom. Like, you're not even on the leaderboard yet, and you still have to move up. I think it's probably gonna be like 2 seasons before you find your place, right? Before you're actually like, this is where I belong. Now I'm actually facing people that are around my skill level, that has like equivalent gladiator cards and everything to me. Because right now everything is just so fresh. It's only been like what, 1 week or something like that. It's been like a week. It
Yeah, it's been a
hasn't.
week.
Yeah, it hasn't even been a full
Yeah, half a
season.
season.
Like, I know I'm
Mhm.
not top 10 yet in champ where I belong, but eventually I'll get there. And then I
Yeah.
think things will have worked out. But there's a lot of people who maybe are just impatient, or maybe they just haven't like fully allowed the time that needs to pass for things to even out and for us to get where Matt said, hey, your win rate's 50%. And there might be some people, like,
Right.
if they were camping gold and they're at the top of gold, they might just not be used to having a 50% win rate, right? Because if you've got a full max gold deck and you're facing some people who have like, semi silver decks in gold and you're just crushing them, you probably are used to having a way higher win rate. But now that there's no camping, you're forced to move up to people who are like your equivalent. There is no just hanging back and beating down on like the smaller guys. You're forced to move up. So all the
Yeah.
gladiator cards,
Yeah.
all the soulbound cards in the world, they're not going to keep you low level unless you're purposely throwing matches. And why would you do that in this new system when you're rewarded more for moving up higher in the leaderboard? So I
Right.
really like the new system. And I mean, there was a point when even After Sound was saying things like, oh, the what was he calling it? The Goldilocks is in gold because you were getting more SPS rewards for playing in gold than you were in like diamond. And to me, that's absolutely like the antithesis of what Splinterlands is supposed to be. Better deck, more
Right.
competition, more rewards, not camp out in gold because it's more
Hmm.
rewarding to be a gold player than it is to be a diamond player because of like the liquidity. There's less players in gold. So
Yeah,
I
it was like
really
that in
like it.
Brawls too.
Yeah.
Same thing in Brawls for like 2.5 years. You'd actually, if you moved up a tier, yeah, and didn't place in the top three, you'd make more. Earn more crowns and merits, hanging back and staying in the top two or three.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it was kind of crazy. So hopefully that's fixed, and we have yet to see how it works out with chests because I believe
Oh,
chests are the same,
buddy.
right? He hasn't fixed the chests yet.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, if you need more motivation to move up right now, just think about what's going to happen when he does remove the SPS from the chests. Now, Wild is no
Yeah.
longer taking a portion of Modern's SPS that's supposed to be part of the chest rewards. If you think that SPS rewards are high right now in Modern, just wait till it gets its real share of SPS from the Wild pool that's draining it all with the 20x the amount of battles with all the bots and stuff like that. Like the rewards that are going to start happening in Modern are just going to be astronomical after that next change that he does, when there's no more SPS in chests and it's all through
Hmm.
battle only. Like we got what? There's 20x the games that are happening in Wild. So you can assume that it's maybe not going to be 20x the SPS because a lot of those are just feeder bots, right? That are just exist to, provide ratings inflation basically, right? But I can definitely see
Right.
the SPS doubling at least in what you get in Modern once that happens. Like I
Oh
can
yeah,
see a
with
doubling
just
of
that
the
fifty
SPS.
percent split is going to be
That's what I mean.
huge. That's going to be absolutely huge because I didn't even realize that it was just what was it? Was it just ranked to a split and that
Yep.
chests weren't?
That's
I
right.
think a lot of people didn't realize that. They just assumed the split was 50-50 for everything. 50% wild, 50% modern. And once that came to light that that wasn't the case, I think people kind of freaked out about that.
Yep.
And making that the case, there's going to be, yeah, rewards should go up substantially
That's another
in
huge like
modern.
win for Matt. Another great job, Matt. Like I think he's really doing a lot of stuff right since he's taken over.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, he expressed that he was frustrated for a couple of years,
Yep.
because he wasn't able to do what he felt was the right thing. So it's awesome to see him kind of, just assume control and just kind of steer the way he wants. the end of the last town hall. I don't know if you watched it. It
I
was like the
watched it for
last
sure.
5 minutes.
I watch them all.
Yeah, yeah. I had actually watched like 99% of it and missed like the last 10 minutes, and then Paul TRX was like, "Dude, you got to watch the last 5 minutes." At our last weekly Team Possible meeting, he was telling us to watch it, and that was when Matt, I went back and watched, and Matt was just like expressed, his tremendous gratitude for everyone being here and hanging out through the bear market, and giving him the ability to do this, day in and day out. And he expressed it, he felt bad and apologetic that we
Yeah.
hadn't gotten it where he wanted it to be yet.
Very like humble,
That,
Yeah.
yeah, very humble, and also, recognizing that, yeah, there were some mistakes made during the bull market. Funds were misappropriated. He wasn't in charge, and he definitely expressed that, he felt bad that we weren't there yet, but it's obvious he's very confident we will get there.
Yep.
I think we'll get there too. We're definitely it's going in the right direction now. I love a lot of the stuff Nate was showing for the player experience, what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Fantastic. Like, yeah, like the whole thing with the what was it, like that little wizard character that would come out? Kind of like all the other games you played growing up. There'd be this guy that would pop up and tell you what's going on, talk to you, and kind of lead you through the experience and teach you how to play.
And that's one of the. That's one of the things that I always felt was kind of like missing about Splinterlands. In a lot of games, like you'll get in, there'll be this huge introduction, you'll be introduced to the world, you'll be introduced to some of the characters, and it'll draw you in from more than just like, hey, this is a card game standpoint, It'll like world build for you and get you like connected to the characters. And I remember the first time I played through like the, what's called the small introduction that they had, I was like, who are these like chumps basically that are showing up that are talking to me with this like really bare bones tutorial that they had? And it gave me no like engagement. It didn't make me care about any of the characters. And it really feels like what Nate's doing now is going to be like truly like you're going to get to know these characters. There's going to be quests for you to go on. There's going to be accomplishments that need to be done for you to move up. And like, it's not just going to be, oh, it's Gorth. It's going to be, oh, Gorth, and he's taking you on to like this journey and stuff through the catacombs, and you get your feelings for Gorth and stuff. Or who is it that it's going to be? It's going to be the
you feel bad about burning Gorth.
Yeah.
Make you feel guilty.
Yeah, I'm working on you, man. I'm working on. I call him the one-eyed monster. You don't want to lose your one-eyed monster, right? But, but no, I think it's great, man. I think it's great what they're doing. I got one here from.
Absolutely.
I got one here from Ime. He says one big negative that I can see is that some lower tournaments I used to enjoy because the game auto moved me to gold. Just because I win with silver cards. So I think that what he's saying is that he used to be able to join, say, silver tournaments, but now he's like gold. So now he can't enter silver anymore without paying that huge SPS premium. What do you think about Clayboyne's rework of the tournaments and removing that penalty that there was that he has in place so you can't like smurf lower tournaments? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that should be removed?
Oh man, I didn't even know that was going on. That's a good thing to point out, because if you are sitting with a silver deck and you move into gold and you can't play silver, that's not right. I know they're revamping that whole thing, right? It's going to be more based on collection power, more appropriate for different levels, right? So if you are just hanging out in one of those, in Silver League, and you have silver level cards, even though you might work up into golden rank, you'll still be able to enter silver tournaments based on collection power.
Yeah.
So that should be coming. I think that's part of the rework that we're going to be seeing. What's the other question you were saying about that?
Well, that was kind of it. It was just like now if you try and enter those tournaments, there's an SPS premium that you have to pay, right? Like I almost think that should be removed entirely because the tournaments are already capped based on maximum card level, right? Just because in ranked play you can be in silver and be playing with like gold and diamond level cards, when you're still in a silver tournament, I mean, you can still only play level 5, 4, 3, 2. You still can't play higher than that.
That's another thing I never understood. Like when people said, "Oh, you shouldn't be able to play down," it's like, if I play bronze, I suck because I don't know the meta. It's like a champ player moving down is hard.
I suck.
It's not like, oh, you could crush everyone with the champ deck. It's like, no, you have cards that are equal to everyone else. You got your silver cards or your freaking bronze cards, and you I often, like I do this in brawls all the time. I'm like, oh, let me make a team real quick, and then I'll forget that a card doesn't have a certain ability
Absolutely.
in lower levels that I specifically used
Yep.
that card for. You know,
Yeah. Like
so
I
it's
know
a
that
disadvantage.
whenever I have
It's a
to go down,
disadvantage.
if I'm gold or lower and I don't have that like maximum ability, like the max level on a card, I just am like, I don't even know what I did. Like, why did I even enter this team sometimes? Like when Supply Runner doesn't have haste, I'm like, why did I put this card in? You know, like you're playing
Right.
silver and Supply Runner doesn't have haste. It's just like, what? What's your use now or whatever? It's maybe I'm
And
wrong
out of
with like that,
habit,
but you know what I'm
right?
talking about.
And out of habit, you just put them in there.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, oh, I'm using them for speed. Here we go.
Yeah, or
Nope.
Cursed Wittigu without heal. It's like, why do you exist, Cursed Wittigu without heal? Like, why am I playing you now? You know?
Yeah,
So
it's literally a disadvantage when you move down, unless you're well practiced in the different things. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that if it opens up where anyone can play any league. Um, I don't know. I almost think that that would be a good thing. But if people, if people in bronze and silver are so like violently against it, I'm not going to say
yeah.
like you have to be able to move down. You
Well,
definitely want people comfortable at all levels.
I know there's one particular. I can't remember his name right now, but there's one guy in particular that used to like Yuye, I think his name was. He used to like dominate, like I think it was the bronze and silver tournaments or
Yeah,
something like that. And he's
yeah,
now said, I'm taking a step back from playing, at least in ranked, because of the fact that now my card level caps don't mean anything. I know there are some people that are taking that kind of a stance. That's like, I'm only doing tournaments now because that's where my cards are leveled up to. There's no point in me playing
hmm
ranked anymore because, I mean, now I try and play silver and I'm facing gold players, like people who have gold decks or diamond decks in some cases, you know? But,
mm.
like, well,
Wasn't that happening before? Wasn't there a little bit of overlap?
um,
If they're for the matchmaking.
since there was the caps on it, you could face, I don't know, I don't even know anymore. I think,
Because I know
yeah.
Champ and Diamond you'd have overlap, but I don't know if it was like in lower levels
I
there
think
was
with
any of
Champ
that.
and Diamond, it's because they have the same card level
It's
caps,
the
right?
same levels, yeah,
But I think
yeah.
that if you're playing silver, there were silver level caps, and if you're playing gold, there were gold level caps. Um,
Gotcha,
so now
gotcha.
he's now those types of players are like, I invested in a silver deck. My silver deck means nothing. But like we were kind of talking about earlier, I think that those
Yeah,
players
I can
just
see that. And
they just need to wait. You know, they just need to wait until the gold players have moved up where they should belong in gold, so
right,
that they
right,
end up
which they
just
should be.
facing more
It's
silver
only
guys. You know?
been a week. I
Yeah.
mean, I could totally understand the viewpoint of saying, I have this much to invest. A max deck is expensive. Especially now with Rebellion. I've never seen card prices this high.
Oh
I mean,
man.
even Untamed, even Chaos Legion was higher priced than Untamed was. Believe it or not. I remember Untamed being commons were 2-3 cents. I saw commons at a half a cent during Untamed. Certain ones, the
That was
less
before
desirable ones.
before the big build up, right? Before the big bull run that
Yeah,
happened on.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then Chaos Legion never got quite that low. I mean, the reward cards are one thing, but the cards themselves didn't get that low. On the high end, Kron was $2, in
Yep.
Untamed. I remember that very specifically. Kron was $2, and that was like the high end legendary. So you could get a max legendary for $22.
Well,
And now you're seeing $15, $20 legendaries in Rebellion.
oh yeah.
And same with Chaos Legion, man. Queen Mycella was $4.
Yep.
Never really got much lower than that, and that was twice as much as Untamed. Even though it was quote overprinted,
Well,
it still didn't
she
sink
got
under
really
that four
high for a while.
bucks.
Like don't when like I remember back in the day being like, I want that 50 packs of Chaos Legion I'm gonna buy during the pre-sale so I can get my one Dr. Blight. And I remember I was buying vouchers for $15 a piece just so I could participate in the
Oh
pre-sale, you
yeah,
know? So I mean, I
yeah.
wasn't one of the lucky ones that just got a bunch of vouchers airdropped on my head. So I had like 40 or
hmm
something, and I was like, oh man, the game's taken off. Everything's worth like so much money. I know I have to have my one Dr. Blight at least. And I remember buying vouchers for $15 a piece just so I could get up to that 50 pack
Wow, yeah.
pre-sale and get my one Dr. Blight, you know? So
Wow, yeah,
yeah,
that's
buddy. There was
crazy.
a time, like I'm telling you, man. Like that's why I can kind of see the bitterness of some of the Chaos Legion people who invested hard in Chaos Legion, right? Like
I
imagine,
went hard in Chaos Legion. I
like
put a lot in there, but
so you feel it too
it
then?
is what it is.
Yeah, because the vouchers that you must have paid in the pre-sale were worth $15 each at that point, right? So
I should have sold.
I
I
should
got a
have
lot in
sold
the
too.
airdrop. I I didn't buy, but I didn't sell either.
That's
You know, and
just
I
it.
should have.
Like hindsight's 2020. We couldn't have known that SPS would go from a buck to like 2 cents, 3 cents. You know, we couldn't have known that. And I
Right,
remember
that was
for
right before the crash.
yeah, and for a time
Right.
you were making
Yeah.
like $1 per win, right? Even in like Diamond League, it was like,
Oh, I was
oh,
making $5 to $8 in champ. I remember sitting there. I'd be playing on my phone.
yeah,
My
yeah,
wife and I, like, I remember we're sitting in like freaking at the vet one time, waiting for our turn. I remember playing a match. I'm like, I just made $8
on one
in
win.
SPS
That's just crazy,
on
dude.
one win.
Yeah, like my
Yeah,
buddy and I were
that was
freaking about a
short-lived
buck.
though.
My buddy the Machine and I, we were freaking about, oh my god, we just got like a win and made a buck, and we would just sit there, we were playing, and we were like, shit, dude, I played for an hour, I made 20 bucks American, and I live in Canada, right? So 20 bucks American's
Right.
like 27, 28 Canadian or something. Like, buddy, this is like this is like a job. Like, this is like not like the best job, but this is like a job. I'm making 28 bucks an hour right now playing Splinterlands. And of course we didn't sell
Yeah.
off, you know, and we kept, and things kind of went the way they
Yeah.
did. But I mean, the fact is, and that's why a lot of people, like, I kind of disagree with their sentiments about it, is you could have sold. Like, you could have sold when things were a lot higher, when vouchers were 15 bucks a piece. You could have sold that instead of buying Chaos Legion. We all made our decisions, and I mean, in the end, it's a card game. We're betting on a card game, right? Which does have upside, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be disappointed when it's a card game first and foremost, not like an investment vehicle. I'm not going to the bank and buying like a stock or a bond. I'm trusting in a card game to hopefully make me some money while having some fun, you know? So
Right. Well, it is almost the blockchain version of a stock or a bond.
yeah,
You know, when you're buying that governance token, you
yep,
know, you're kind of you're rolling that you're betting that it's going to go up.
yep,
You're hoping that it's going to go up, you know, and yeah, hodling through all this, everything's cyclical. And you know, in the crypto world, um, all of these cycles, you know, if a project is worth anything or a blockchain is good, you know, you go up. Looking at Bitcoin, you go up and then you typically crash. I think it's like 80%. You know, so you drop 80% from the high, but that 80% dip is still higher than the previous
yep.
cycle. You know what I mean? It kind of goes up and down like that. So I mean, we already just, I think, just hit the all-time high for Bitcoin again
Yep, and then it
before
crashed.
a bull run really kicks in.
Then it crashed
Yeah, it
again,
crashed out.
and then immediately it seems like it almost immediately got sucked back up. People are like, we're buying this dip, and now it's back up
Yeah,
to
it's
like
back up to 67.3 right
that's
now,
what I mean.
according to
Like, they
CoinGecko.
bought the dip,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
it's
yeah,
back
you
up.
just got to do that every time, you know. But I don't do that. I just kind of hold it and let
Yeah,
it roll. But
same.
I mean, the bull run hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
You
This
know,
is not
literally,
financial
like it.
advice, by the way. We accept total
Mhm.
disclaimers on anything we're talking about. We're not advising you to buy anything, sell anything. I think we have to say this, don't we? Like, this is just all for fun, and we're talking speculative, like, not even speculative. We're just shooting shit, you know? Like, don't
Shoot
go
the
out and
shit.
make investments based on what we're saying or whatever. But
Oh no, that would be absolutely insane.
yeah.
Never listen to Jimmy.
Oh, buddy,
That's the
it's
key.
so crazy. Some of the I look
I'm like,
back on it, like I was buying Algorand because I was like, oh my god, Algorand, it's like fastest TPS or whatever like that. The guy
I bought
behind it is
Algorand
like a
too. Yep.
mathematician that went and he won all these like awards for physics and things like that. And I'm like, what a
Yeah.
great team. Turns out I should have bought freaking Pepe coin. Like, I should have bought Pepe coin. I'm sitting here buying all these things that have all this
Yeah.
potential to be world changing and
Hmm.
everything, like these great blockchains
Right.
with all these amazing people.
And
I
Algo
should
had
have
good
bought Pepe
staking too.
coin, you know?
You know, Algo had good staking
Yes,
too. But
yes, it did.
you never know though. That might come back on this run. I mean,
It's going
again,
back up, but it's
anything worth
crazy.
anything is going to go higher than the last time.
Yeah,
You know, not everything, but a lot of stuff is going to go way above the previous high. So we'll see. And now we got the push meme coin coming. We got our own
yes.
community meme coin that
I
CryptoED started.
I put
So
my whole 1,000 SPS into it. It's all the liquid SPS I had, but I was like, I want to do
nice.
something, you know? It's 20
Yeah,
bucks,
I
but
threw
it
a
is
couple
what
of
it is.
SPS.
Yeah.
Yep, I did that too. I put 10,000 SPS at it.
Ah,
Let's
see,
just
I should get a little bit more, but I still have to rent SPS. Like, I'm not so plush with SPS that I don't even have to rent it to just play games, you know? So I don't have like a
right.
lot of liquid SPS I can just spend, or else I have to re-spend that money renting, which costs me
Yeah.
DEC. So
Hmm.
that's just what I happen to have, and I was like, I'll just roll with it, you know? It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been spending on cards too. I've been
Yep.
like, I'll spend some SP, even though it's low and I shouldn't be. Be like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a couple cards. They're on the market at a good price. Let me just grab a few using SPS.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
I've actually been buying some Chaos Legion lately. I put $100 into the game and I swept the floor of all of those like $1. What are they called? The $1 Chaos Dragons and the Phasing Dragon. I forget his name
Right.
right now. I was just like,
Desert.
I'll just buy everything that's like super
Oh,
cheap.
Void.
Yeah, Void Dragon. I
Void
bought
Dragon.
$1 Void
Yeah.
Dragons, $2 Chaos
Oh,
Dragons. Like,
nice.
I was just
That's
like, I'm
freaking
just gonna
awesome.
get all this stuff. I'll just combine them, and I'll put them all up for rent right now. It's like 3-star versions of themselves, and I'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you know what? I'm even willing to buy Chaos Legion right now. Like that's how confident I am in just the rental
Yeah, it's
market
gonna
and
be
getting people
good.
to go up
If we
there.
get new players,
Yeah, man.
Chaos Legion's gonna be in demand. You know, Dave McCoy was just on the People's Guild again. He did a great little interview, and it's
I
really
watched
true.
it.
I mean, if
Yeah.
nice, yeah,
Yeah.
if we just get a little bit more, you know, we don't need that many players to really change things in here.
For sure. Even
You know, we don't need a million.
After Sound was saying like even 25 players who want to play in Diamond would make like a huge difference. You even get just straight up 25 people who are like, I want to play in Diamond Champ, and there's not even enough max level cards to rent out to them, you know? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like I know that there's like millions of packs that still haven't been opened, but I mean the supply right now in non-pack form is very thin. You know, when you think about
yeah.
25 players totally eats up the whole market, like the entire rental market and the entire market that exists for like sales as well.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, very true. Everything's low right now. I mean, Rebellion's super low, and
Yep.
because of wagons, there's very, you know, rental floor, very little rentals going on.
Yep.
And I wanted to see what packs, Chaos Legion packs are going for. I think they're still under a buck, right?
I think they are. I think they were like at 86 cents last time I looked even. They even dipped lower somehow, which doesn't make sense to me. Because like all of the legendaries went up in price and then
Mm-hmm.
and yet the pack price went down a little bit more. And I'm just like, who is dumping these packs when the EV is finally above the price of the pack, you know? For a while it was like they were even. The
Mm-hmm.
EV, the
Or
expected
that,
value
yeah.
was like a buck and they were selling for a buck, but now it's like maybe you can look it up right now and see what the EV is because I don't want to lose your face here, but like
Or they just left, you know, there's someone left them on the market and forgot about them. You know,
maybe.
that's very likely
Yep.
too. That happens all the time there.
Yep.
What snake do you look for the EV? Is that Splinter cards
I think it's
or Peak Monster?
Peak Monster is illustrated EV. And just while you're doing that, we have a question from Warren TRX. Jimmy, what's the painting over your left shoulder? Painting over your
Ah, the
left shoulder.
painting over my left
Yeah,
shoulder.
the one on the wall with like
That
the
is,
sun in the back and the grasslands it
yeah.
looks like. What's that painting?
Let's zoom in there. Let's see if we can see. That's hard to tell. I'll take a screenshot later, Paul, and post it over for you. That's my wife is a painter,
Ooh,
and that's something she did. She does amazing, like she's done amazing like portraits and figures, and you know, she can do incredibly realistic stuff. But she's gotten into abstract stuff lately. It's hard to tell. That's kind of like birds on a hedge, is what it kind of it looks like if you zoom in. And I got a bunch of stuff plugged in, so it's hard to turn stuff around. Let's see. There's more of her stuff
whoa.
here. Trying to zoom out a little. That one's a little darker. I like that. It's kind of
Yeah,
like a cityscape. There's all these characters and stuff in there. And there's another one.
very cool. Yeah, I really like
Take
that.
the
I like
toll.
that pink, red, purple one with the white in it. I really like that one.
Mm-hmm. And here's all these like weird people.
Those are people? Oh my gosh, they are people.
Yeah. Kind of cool. So she had this really cool style for a while. She's not even doing it like this anymore. It's kind of crazy. Here's the birds.
We got to do a show that's just like you're just like showing off some of your wife's artwork on the in-betweens and stuff like that. You know, have a few battles, check out this picture. Have a few battles, check out this pic. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been doing really good, man. She's going to art workshops in the different countries and stuff, and her taking color classes and stuff. It's some master classes, and it's been pretty awesome. She's really uh, hitting a point of really cool stuff. And this stuff is like, shit, I think all of these are like 10 years old at this point.
Oh. Yeah, we definitely have to
That's
see some of her
crazy.
newer stuff when you get a chance. You can just post it in
Yeah,
Discord so we can take a look. Because now people are interested. People are interested. Yeah.
totally. I'll have to drop her Instagram link
Yeah.
on the thing there. How do I do that? I could probably throw that in the chat. Thanks for asking, Paul.
Yeah. And we got Birds,
Let's
Bees, and
see.
Trees who's saying he remembers Algorand and where do you buy Pepe? I do all my buys on crypto.com because our Canadian government has locked us out of almost everything else. Like we can't use
No way.
Binance anymore here in Canada. There's so many things that living in
Whoa.
Ontario that we're just locked out of. So there's very
Yeah,
few.
we're locked out of Binance here.
You're locked out of Binance too? Where are you?
Yeah, there's U.S. There's
You're locked out of
Binance
Binance
U.S.
in the
and it's got like
US?
20 things on there. It's
Wow.
horrible.
Man, that is terrible, dude. Like, so there's
Yeah.
not very many places where I can buy. So I have to use crypto.com for everything, and they happen to have Pepe coin on there. Bees and trees.
Well, crypto.com's good, man. Okay, I'm dropping in the chat. This is my wife's Instagram. If you want to check out her current artwork, and she's doing a 100-day project. So here's some, and she's, again, this is all the abstract stuff she's been doing lately. So there's the link
we just
in the chat for the
I want to copy it too, since I'm not going to get a chance to. I guess I can come back and look at this whenever I want. Kimchi,
Chiggy.
Kimchigi art.
Yeah. That's it.
All the chance to review that. Use a VPN to bypass the regulations. I still want to be able to withdraw though, Liberty Guy Upgrade. So the problem ends up being like using the VPN is sure you can go ahead now, you can do all your buying, but you still have to have an authenticated account with them. And then when you move things on and off through them, they still have all your ID and everything like that, right? Because I mean,
Yeah, you need to, you gotta prove who you are, and
yeah.
it becomes fraud at one point.
And
at
that's
some point,
and that's I'm just not willing to risk. Like you saw my demon kids earlier today, right? Like you saw, Daddy, my unicorn, you know, and like I just got too much to risk to be like I'm just gonna try and circumvent the rules just so I can make a few bucks. Like I'll buy my Pepe coin on crypto.com and I'll be happy. And it's so funny. I bought 40 bucks worth. I bought 40 bucks worth of Pepe. It's worth 400 bucks now. I was like, wow, like I feel so stupid for investing in projects that actually had potential when I should have just been buying meme coins this whole time. Like, what am I thinking?
Did that with Shib. I got really lucky with Shib and bought a bunch when there was like, it was a lotto ticket. Someone told me about it, and they were like, a bunch of us were like, let's just put 10 bucks in and see what happens. And then it just started exploding. We're like, holy crap, this is insane. Bought a little bit more, but it was all expecting to lose it.
Yep.
And it's now a freaking top 15 crypto.
Crazy,
with a
man.
Huge community.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yep.
But the thing is, that's that one. How I threw that 10 bucks at probably, dozens of coins that just went to zero.
Yep.
It's part of the deal. You throw your money, like VC Dragon was talking in the chat the other day. He buys $1 worth of every coin that first comes out on Binance, I think. And he said one of them went up to like 10 grand. That dollar became like $10,000.
I so wish I wish I had access to Binance. Like I wish I had access to Binance and some of those other like exchanges. I feel like locked out of being able to get the good stuff, because by the time it gets to crypto.com, it's already hit all those smaller markets, and now crypto.com's like, we now approve you, and it's already too late to get like that 1000x. By that point in time, it's it can still go up, but I mean, it's not like OKX exchange or whatever that is, right? That's like super small releases to like tiny little MCAP things, and you can get in at the bottom. It's by the time it comes to the big guys, non-Binance big guys, it's already like had its time, So,
oh yeah, I mean the fact that we're supposed to be in a free country, but we can't, access Binance. It's like, oh man. And it's a huge detriment, man. They were offering some great, there was some great lockup rates and stuff like that. I mean, not your coins, not your crypto. You're always taking a chance locking something up for staking on an exchange. But, is it worth the chance? Sometimes you think it is. And there were some great staking returns when we still had access to Binance. It's absolutely fantastic.
I can't believe that you don't have access to Binance as a U.S. customer either, though. Like, I know that, what's his name, Cheng Zi, or, what what's his name? I know that he had to pay that huge lawsuit and stuff like that, and that he's now just on the board of directors or something instead of being like the president of Binance. I wonder how much of that was because of dealing with the U.S. and U.S. regulations and things like that. Oh,
Probably a good bit of it.
yeah, yeah, probably because I know they're the ones who were like, "Hey, we want our cut of the money," you know. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
here in Canada, I can see why they're afraid of crypto. Because my brother and I, we were just like, "Hey, you know what? You want to get paid? Like, here, I'll pay you in crypto." I literally just took my phone, scanned his phone. No banks were involved in the transaction whatsoever. It just went from my wallet to his wallet. And that's why whenever I want to even buy anything, the bank will sometimes like deny it. I have to call the bank and I have to get them to authorize the transaction. And they make it as difficult as possible to buy crypto because I can see they're just like, we don't want to lose our market share. Like if crypto became commonplace, like what are we then if not a middleman? And if there's no middleman, what
Well, that's
purpose
the
do
whole
we
thing.
serve?
They don't want to lose their
You know?
control.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to lose their death grip
Yeah.
on your neck. That's
Yeah.
what they're afraid of. No,
Become
you
just a
know?
lender, you know?
Yeah.
Funny.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's all about being the middleman. That's where all the money gets made.
Yep.
With those guys. All right, so I dropped another link in there. My wife's YouTube. So she does a lot of
Ooh.
like she'll do a painting and like speed it up so you could watch it being done in like fast time, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, so anyone who's likes that, hit that YouTube like and subscribe too. It helps out. That would be.
Definitely,
And
guys.
it's
You got the
to
link.
watch,
Take
but-
a second right now to click on it and go to YouTube and give it the like and sub, and then come back to us. Like we're not, like, I'll ask you another Splinterlands question that will have us talking for a while because we were going to talk about like the bot triad, right? So let's start
The
a new.
fourth trifecta.
Yeah,
Fourth trifecta.
let's start a new little video for that one too, because like sometimes it gets pretty long if I'm just like, here's a 2-hour video, like digest it, you know. Let me stop this one. And great convo. You guys like what you see? Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that. That Jimmy, here he is, guys. Round of applause, Jim. All right.
Jimmy, round of applause to you. Raging.